Hamlet, Part 2, Madness and Deception. Elsinore was no longer a home of splendor. It was a fortress haunted by secrets, suspicion, and lies. The air was thick with whispers, a prince gone mad, a queen uncertain, a king guilty, a court divided. Hamlet had unmasked Claudius with the play, but he still hesitated to act. His conscience was torn. To kill his uncle in cold blood would damn his soul as surely as Claudius had damned his. Yet every day of delay spread poison deeper into the lives around him. Claudius, trembling from guilt, sought to pray but found no peace. His words rose like smoke, but his heart remained chained to sin. In that moment Hamlet entered, dagger in hand, the perfect chance before him. Yet he paused. To strike Claudius in prayer, he reasoned, would send his soul to heaven, a mercy he did not deserve. No, Claudius must die in sin, damned as he had damned his brother. Hamlet's hesitation was his undoing. Meanwhile, Queen Gertrude, troubled by her son's behavior, summoned Hamlet to her chamber. Polonius, ever eager to meddle, hid behind a tapestry to overhear. But when Hamlet confronted his mother with scathing words, passion overcame him. Hearing movement, he struck through the curtain, killing Polonius in a rash mistake. The meddler fell dead, his schemes ended, but his death set in motion a tragedy greater still. Ophelia, crushed by grief for her father and bewildered by Hamlet's cruelty, slipped into madness. She wandered the halls, singing broken songs, weaving flowers into her hair, her eyes distant with sorrow. "They say the owl was a baker's daughter," she murmured, lost in riddles, until at last she vanished into the waters, drowning in the river that mirrored her fractured soul. Her death was no murder, but it was born of the chaos Hamlet had unleashed. Laertes, her brother, returned to Elsinore aflame with vengeance. Seeing his father slain and his sister drowned, he demanded justice, his rage a mirror of Hamlet's own. Claudius, cunning and desperate, seized the moment. He stoked Laertes' fury, whispering that Hamlet was to blame for all. Together they plotted the prince's death. A duel would be arranged, but Laertes' blade would be tipped with poison, and a chalice of wine, also poisoned, would stand ready as a second snare. Hamlet himself, sent to England under false pretenses, narrowly escaped death. Claudius had dispatched him with sealed orders for his execution, but Hamlet uncovered the plot, rewriting the command so that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, his supposed friends turned traitors, met the fate intended for him. "They are not near my conscience," he said coldly as he returned to Denmark, hardened by betrayal. But even Hamlet, master of words and thought, could not halt the tide. The graveyard awaited him, its silence broken only by the gravedigger's songs. There, holding the skull of poor Yorick, the jester who had once made him laugh as a child, Hamlet confronted the truth that mocked kings and peasants alike. Death was the great equalizer, the one fate none could escape. As Ophelia's funeral procession approached, sorrow turned to violence. Laertes leapt into her grave, weeping with grief, and Hamlet, overcome, leapt in after him. They grappled, their rage boiling over in the presence of death itself, each claiming greater love and sorrow for the woman they had lost. The mourners tore them apart, but the seeds of their final duel were already planted. Now Elsinore was a tinderbox, ready to ignite. The ghost's demand for vengeance still echoed in Hamlet's mind. But hesitation, accident, and delay had left a trail of ruin. Polonius slain, Ophelia drowned, Laertes enraged, and Claudius ever more desperate. Denmark itself seemed cursed, its royal family devouring itself from within. And so the stage was set for the end. A duel arranged, poisons prepared, a prince no longer merely haunted, but hunted. The curtain of Part 2 falls with the kingdom trembling on the brink, every player poised for tragedy. Love had become madness. Friendship had turned to betrayal. Revenge had become a chain dragging them all toward death.